The Australian wine industry is one of the world's largest exporters of wine. With approximately 800 million out of the 1.2 to 1.3 billion litres produced annually exported to overseas markets, the wine industry is a significant contributor to the Australian economy through production, employment, export and tourism. There is a $3.5 billion domestic market for Australian wines, with Australians consuming approximately 500 million litres annually. Norfolk Islanders are the second biggest per capita wine consumers in the world with 54 litres. Only 16.6% of wine sold domestically is imported. Wine is produced in every state, with more than 60 designated wine regions totaling approximately 160,000 hectares. However, Australia's wine regions are mainly in the southern, cooler parts of the country, with vineyards located in South Australia, New South Wales, Victoria, Western Australia, Tasmania and Queensland. The wine regions in each of these states produce different wine varieties in styles that take advantage of the particular terroir, such as climatic differences, topography and soil types. The major varieties are predominantly Shiraz, Cabernet Sauvignon, Chardonnay, Merlot, Semillon, Pinot Noir, Riesling, and Sauvignon Blanc. Wines are often labeled with the name of their grape variety, which must constitute at least 85% of the wine. Wine cuttings from the Cape of Good Hope were brought to the penal colony of New South Wales by Governor Phillip on the First Fleet. An attempt at wine making from these first wines failed, but with perseverance, other settlers managed to successfully cultivate wines for winemaking, and Australian-made wine was available for sale domestically by the 1820s. In 1822, Gregory Blaxland became the first person to export Australian wine, and was the first winemaker to win an overseas award. In 1830, vineyards were established in the Hunter Valley. In 1833, James Busby returned from France and Spain with a serious selection of grape varieties, including most classic French grapes and a good selection of grapes for fortified wine production. Wine from the Adelaide Hills was sent to Queen Victoria in 1844, but there is no evidence that she placed an order as a result. The production and quality of Australian wine was much improved by the arrival of free settlers from various parts of Europe, who used their skills and knowledge to establish some of Australia's premier wine regions. For example, emigrants from Prussia in the mid-1850s were important in establishing South Australia's Barossa Valley as a winemaking region. In smaller scale, winemakers from Switzerland also helped in establishing Geelong wine region in Victoria in 1842. Early Australian winemakers faced many difficulties, particularly due to the unfamiliar Australian climate, but because it is also warm, dry, and Mediterranean overall, making Australia ideal for wine production. They eventually achieved considerable success. At the 1873 Vienna exhibition, the French judges, tasting blind, praised some wines from Victoria, but withdrew in protest when the provenance of the wine was revealed, on the grounds that wines of that quality must clearly be French. Australian wines continued to win high honours in French competitions. A Victorian Syrah competing in the 1878 Paris exhibition was likened to Chateau Margaux, and its taste completed its trinity of perfection. One Australian wine won a gold medal, first class, at the 1882 Bordeaux International Exhibition, and another won a gold medal, against the world, at the 1889 Paris International Exhibition. That was all before the destructive effects on the industry of the Phylloca epidemic. Australia has rapidly become a world leader in both the quantity and quality of wines it produces. For example, Australian wine exports to the US rose from 578,000 cases in 1990 to 20 million cases in 2004, and in 2000 it exported more wine than France to the UK for the first time in history. The industry has at times suffered from its own productivity. In the late 1980s, governments sponsored growers to pull out their wines to overcome a glut of wine grapes. Low grape prices in 2005 and 2006 have led to calls for another sponsored wine pull. Cleanskin wines were introduced into Australia during the 1960s as a means to combat oversupply and poor sales. During the Black Summer bushfires of 2019 to 2020, winemaking was adversely affected in production areas struck by fire or smoke, which affects flavor through smoke taint. The Adelaide Hills wine region was particularly badly hit, losing up to 30% of its vineyards. Some winemakers found innovative ways to get around the problem of tainted grapes. Major grape varieties are Shiraz, Pinot Noir, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, Semillon, and Riesling. The country has no native grapes, and Vitis vinifera varieties were introduced from Europe and South Africa in the late 18th and early 19th centuries. Some varieties have B.